So what I've noticed, beautiful question, what I've noticed ever since this recognition of being space, being consciousness, a tremendous process of integrating this beingness into the human form started. And what it actually means is that from that moment of, it's like a full opening up of the entire system, I noticed that in that moment, things showed up on the screen of consciousness that I never experienced before. That my whole system was perfectly organized to push away from myself. Pain, discomfort, things that I just didn't even know that they were there. Unconscious stuff. But in that moment, when the attention realizes itself as consciousness, it moves out of the way. Even if it is only for a fragment of a second, it completely moves out of the way, and everything that is in the unconscious suddenly shows up on the screen like an elevator. It was all in the basement.
Yeah.
You move out of the way, whoop, and suddenly you after a few days of honeymoon, things showed up that I couldn't believe that they are in me.
So it's almost like you go down to the basement and there's lots and lots of reels of old films that haven't been seen for years.
Because, as we said, as long as you're functioning on a narrow focus, you will do everything to get a lot of good experiences. Everything of the stuff in the basement you're trying to get rid of. So your whole life is organized to never experience the basement.
Okay, but you have the courage, or the situation comes where you go in the basement, you start looking at all the films.
No, in the moment of if we're totally honest, in the moment of recognizing yourself of consciousness, there's nothing you can do about the basement. It shows up. Everything.
So there's an appropriateness, somehow consciousness, can't say it's making a decision, because it doesn't, but it's kind of taking care of it for you, and what is needed to be seen on the screen
needs to be seen and comes up.
So you don't have to do anything, but it'll come up.
You can even if you hang out in that void, and if you do everything to try to hang out in that void, you either have to, and that's the tricky thing, you either have to deny reality now, which means you just claim nothing is real, and you still use the concept of non-duality to try to get rid of the unconscious. And many people do so. They just hang out in that space, and they say, well, my experience is not real, so why should I look at it?
Okay, but I want to follow this through, Florian. So there's this, I like this analogy of the films in the basement, and no one's been there for years. So somehow the films that are appropriate are shown to you. That may not be all of them, of course, probably isn't all of them. And then that may bring up pleasant experiences, or most likely unpleasant experiences.
Yes.
What happens then?
Okay, so first of all, and again, there's nothing we can do about it. The moment you step out of the way, everything that is possibly undercover must show up. Okay. People are mostly not prepared for this, and they think after the honeymoon they have lost it again. No, they haven't lost it again. They just haven't been prepared that also unpleasant stuff will show up. So now, when the unpleasant, as you recognize yourself, or as you are that consciousness, which is prior to any experience, we said, that which shows up, the films from the basement, slowly coming up, are just recognized as experiences. What is an experience? A mixture of thought, feeling, and sensations in the body. So most of that unpleasant stuff is manifesting as contraction energy, as tightening energy in the physical body. Like this. Like constant little shocks.
So you let the process go on its own.
Exactly. So you see it, but you're not using the concept of nothing is real to look away from it. Which is for me what I express as a complete willingness to experience the humanness from the perspective of consciousness. Before we were human from the perspective of human.
Yes.
We looked at the narrow focus from a narrow focus, and all we were doing, we were reinforcing the narrowness. Suddenly, you are recognizing yourself as wide focus space, yet the humanness is still there. Yep. It doesn't change.
Yeah.
every human experience is still happening, yet it is suddenly seen from an incredible vastness, and from here the same experience that looked like a drama before looks like, oh, interesting.
So the experience has more space.
Experience is embedded in the space, or it's
Okay.
contained in the space, but it is not needing to change.
Now, is this something that you got early on, that you just allowed all this to happen?
No,
or
it's
it's something that you kind of learnt through experience?
Yes. No, it learned, and that is the thing that for me it's totally clear, that in that initial recognition of being space and everything comes up, of course, also all the defense mechanisms of the system started to show up. And I found this, what I found suddenly, I found this body reacting exactly like it was reacting before. Yet, I was not involved in the reaction. So I could even explore the reactions towards the experience.
So it's like a program. In a computer, you put the program, someone put the program in here.
Exactly. And it does just what it has learned to do.
Okay.
Yet, I could meet it differently. And now the beauty begins, because in the moment we're meeting the experience without wanting to change it, because consciousness is just recognizing it. What's happening is the quality of attention that the nervous system, the entire circuits get, is a very gentle, welcoming quality of attention. Some people could call it love. So if I give a very genuine, welcoming quality of attention even to pain, what's your experience with the pain? If I gentle with the pain, even if physical pain, if you're not tight with physical pain but soften into the physical pain responds to it. It becomes softer too.
Well, it does, and also my experience is with pain, whether it be physical or emotional, that actually the pain is always the pain I've had so far is always bearable, but there's a fear the pain will become unbearable.
Exactly.
And it's that's the problem.
Exactly.
Not what I'm actually experiencing.
So you're building up a narrow focus. Unbearable means the system gets tight and tries to control the pain and tries to push it away.
That's right.
And in that narrow focus, what is actually happening? We are reinforcing the pain.
Right.
We're amplifying it. So in pain, we are very much involved. Ultimately, there is not such an experience like pain. We're actually making it up by recognizing a sensation, thinking, oh, this is going to be painful, narrowing down, and by narrowing and watching it and reinforcing it, we're actually amplifying, we're generating the pain. So what I've noticed, when all the unconscious movies or films that you were just describing show up, and consciousness meets them, which is like recognizing, just noticing. Nothing needs to change.
But Florian, is there an understanding, a process of understanding? Is that important in your experience?
As I said, I'm not finished yet. So in that moment it is touched with that quality of attention. What is happening now, that the body discharges stress.
Okay.
Which leads to what I call integration, that the system starts to slowly discharge stress and fear energy, and with this the system develops the capacity to contain more, to be more space. The system, instead of going into its reactions because it is afraid of fear, which is a fear energy, stress and fear, it means I don't want this, I can't handle this, it will overwhelm me. So automatically the reflex of the system will be, it pushes it away. Again, we are not doing this. This is happening completely automatically.